Can you believe I actually rescued this from a skip? I didn't just take it though, because that would be stealing it and it's illegal. I did knock on the door and say, would you mind if I took this? They were really pleased because it made room in their skip, and I'm really pleased because I can do it up. So it's always worth asking. This is going to make a great addition to my office to be able to put different bits and pieces in. What I am going to do first though is drill some little holes in the back, because it's quite airtight when you push these in. When you push one in, one comes out. But if I drill a couple of holes here and here, that should prevent that from happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that over like that, and then drill 2 holes either side of that, so it goes right the way through the drawer as well. It's amazing what you can find in skips, and generally people are really pleased to be able to give them up because they like the space. So let's stop that doing that now, look. Which is much better because it's not creating such a vacuum in there and then having to push it out. And now the next thing I'm going to do is give it a good rub down, and the reason is it's probably got dirt and bits and pieces on it and some varnish that I don't want there, and I want to give it a good rub down prior to doing the next stage. And I also want to try and remove these from it as well. These little tags, because I'm going to put them back in, but I want to change the colour of them. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them out, but let's have a look. All I'm going to use to try and get these out with is a little hammer and a screwdriver. Yeah, they seem to be coming out. Now I can put something in there and lever that out. Ah, look at that. Came out easy. Just put them in something so I don't lose them. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to rub these down, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them next. So I've got those all nicely rubbed down enough now. Going to give them a bit of the dust off because I don't want any of that dust on there. That's all done. And now I'm just going to get rid of the dust on my mat. Cover my mat up with a piece of brown paper so it makes it easier to keep my mat clean. And now what I'm going to do is spray these black, and I'm using a gloss finish paint for this, a gloss finish spray, because I want this to have a nice shiny finish. Don't forget, whenever you're spraying, especially if you're spraying inside, make sure that you wear a mask and eye protection if you need eye protection, and work in a well ventilated area. If it's nice enough, you can always do it outside. And do fine little coats like this. The finer coat you do, the better you'll get a finish on it. Because you can always go over it a second time. And I will always go over it a second time. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish spraying the rest, and once it's dry and had its second coat, I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do next to it. Well, this is all lovely and dry now, and as you can see, it's come out beautifully and shiny. What I want to do now is pop this stencil on it, and I'm going to stencil on this design, going around it, across it like that, but in different places. So I'm going to quickly prep my stencil. So all I'm going to do for this is I'm going to lightly spray over it with this stencil adhesive. Leave that to dry for a few seconds. I'm going to use the smaller of my 2 stencil brushes because I think that's going to work much better. And I'm going to use a gold acrylic paint for this. I don't want to do like one directly in the centre and one in the centre there. What I'm going to do, I want it to kind of be off at an angle like that. Pop that down. And that will come off there really, really easily, and it won't mark, which is so important at this stage. So I'm going to put a bit of paint on my brush. Knock a little bit of that off. Go over that and give it a bit of a stencil. Now gold isn't a really great covering colour. So what I'm going to do is leave that to dry for a few minutes and then go over it a second time. But I don't want it to be solid, but I do want it to be a little bit more solid than what that's showing now. So that should be dry enough. A bit more paint on my brush. Now do a second coating on it. If you want to do a third, there's no reason you can't do a third to make it a bit more solid if you're using gold. But I'm not going to, because I really like the way that that has come out like that. Now it has left a little bit of that glue behind, but that's not a problem because you can just peel that off. Although, as you can see, you're better off doing that once it's dry, because if not, you're going to do exactly what I just did and just smudge your paint. Now I can do the side of this quite easily by matching this up, or I can just leave it like that so it looks like it's coming off and just finishing. But it, you know, you do how you want to do it. So for example, I've put that on there like that on the side, and now I can just go over that and do exactly the same thing. Leave that to dry, give it a second coat, and then I've got that flower going over it. So that's finished. Take that stencil off, and now I've got the flower falling over the edge. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put some more of these stencils on, and then I'll show you how I'm going to finish it off completely. So while the drawers are drying, what I'm going to do is quickly give these a spray. I've washed these over, well, washed them over is a wrong word, with some alcohol to get rid of any of the grease and grime that's on them. I'm also going to spray the rivets, and I'm using this gold. Again, light sprays. Leave that to dry, and then what I'll do is I'll give that another probably 2 coats of this spray paint before I put them back on. And then I can show you what it looks like all finished. These are all lovely and dry now, and I can pop these back on. They're going to be a little bit fiddly to put on, but not too bad. Should be able to push these rivets in and then give them a quick tap. Well, we're nearly done. All I'm going to do now is pop 4 of these little tabs on the bottom of this. These little sticky feet. So it's not sitting straight on its base. This makes it just a little bit nicer, I always think. And these are very sticky. I never have any problems with these. Oh, look at that. Drawers are falling out. But you can shut them now without it popping open. The label holders have come out really well. I love it. The fact that you've got the stencil coming over parts of it and coming round, and that has come out really, really well. All I'm going to do is cut 2 white card pieces to pop in there. Pop those in there like that, and then I can write on them whatever is in there. White, the black, and the gold really contrast well. There we go, that's that done. And I really like it. What do you think? I mean, it's cost me absolutely nothing other than a little bit of time because I got it free, and now I think it's going to look really pretty in my office to put stuff in. If you've loved this project, then please think about getting me a coffee. It really does help me keep this channel going. The link for that is in the description below, and you'll get your name on my coffee board. Check out the video I've got coming up next. It's great Upcycle. I think you'll really love that. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.